Hello everyone and welcome to Equestria at War and a new campaign. A campaign that actually has new content and I'm not lagging behind it, which is the polar bear community. Now, I think it's no secret that I stated that I'm gonna play the Changeling lands the last, probably. Basically, my idea for this content is gonna be second to last is gonna be Equestria and last is gonna be Changeling lands. Why? I don't want to play as Nazis, so that's why. And I mean, they're not Nazis, but I mean, come on. We all know what, the history is behind this continent. At least this one, it's a little bit more ambiguous, so I don't care. But this one, we clearly know what's happening. So, the Soviet Union goes first always. Anyways, let's play as the bear community. I have no idea anything about the community. All I know is it's bears, and I very much like bears. So we're gonna see how this goes. Let's see what way we can go, what paths we have. One thing is clear, we have to fight these guys. We have to fight the changelings, obviously. And I can see we have two fronts for this. Now, communities sounds like some kind of union or federation, so we're gonna go communist or supremacist. We're definitely not gonna go democratic, because fuck that shit. That's the worst ideology you can go into in a Hearthstone game. I mean, seriously, what the fuck do you do as a as a Democrat? For fuck's sake. Spend half the game doing jack shit and then be like, oh, well, we tried. I mean, I classically spend half the game doing nothing, so it's like, blame me for trying to build up a perfect country before I go to war. Anyways, the polar bear, land of the frozen sea. Almost all races have a myth or legend for where they spawned. Some claim divine creation, some even dare to claim direct divine descent. In some form, the polar bears have no such legends or myth, for they claim that they were present upon the world since the start of the days, before the world even truly was. The history written by Magi scribes claim that for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, Ursan kind roamed the land. It could be called land, as creatures halfway between the realm of spirit and material. In the blessed primordial cold, they were there before the age of monsters, and when abominations roamed the land, they were there with them. It said that during the age of monsters, the polar bears were uplifted from merely existing like their non-polar brethren into thinking and dreaming by the mystical All-Father. They claimed that this blessing, they gained the power to forge great empires of Ursanines and sit on top of the primordial food chain. How exactly such legendary empires of so-called primordial frost existed, in contrast with historical proven warmer climates and ruins of ancient pony settlements with ponies never mentioned in the story of Magi, is something that bear scholars refuse to elaborate upon and have been prone to threaten violence if questioned too much upon. It is somewhere during the Geologic period, that so-called Age of Star Steel, polar bears moved from merely nomadic tribes of warriors into more settled societies, taught by the legendary magical beasts such as the boar Kalimbursti, Direwolf Fenrir, the nameless Great Raven. Oh, this is Norse, but okay, so the Vikings basically, and so on. He said that during this period, bear armor was first forged, and great armies of armored bears marched. Can we get the Russians riding bears? Can we get that kind of thing going on? Anyways. Alright, so, in case on the shores of the polar ocean there are many clans, as well as the healthy population of clanless bears, from the spiritual shaman of clan Rosenkarts to the arrogant warriors of clan Cain, from the forest lords of clan Gottlung to the penguin majority fishers of clan Anchor. Wait, penguin majority fishers of clan Anchor? Huh? Are they fishing for penguins or are they allied with penguins to fish? The politics of the communities are defined by clans. Westlandia is home to the upstart Triple Alliance of Falsen, Broadcorp, and Berkenstop, and the Key Lake was once home to the crystal-obsessed clan Rosenberg, and gold-hunted clan Tordenstjerne. But any discussion of clans would be incomplete without including the three great clans, the Harmonists of Volstrung, the various claws of Svartpils, and the currently ruling Skyflake. Each of these three great clans has far more resources and power than a lesser clan, and each will make a worthy leader for the communities. The clanless bears, for their part, are willing to cooperate with anyone who treats them well, and are being increasingly integrated with the newly modernized communities. Paul Wellington of Clan Safling, despot of the communities, has ruled with a fair but firm paw for the past 5 years, acting as a modernizing force, dragging the backwards communities into the industrial age. During the Unification War of 1000 and 2002, so 5 years ago, Paul pitted muskets and Griffonian mercenaries against traditional axes and armor, eventually conquering or allying with every clan save two, the aforementioned Clan Rosenberg and Clan Tordenstjerne, who were exiled for collaborating with changelings. They have not been seen since they were driven to the changing lands. Paul has been a good ruler by modern standards, but not necessarily by bear standards. He is perhaps too distant, too obsessed with foreign ideas, and many clans are getting tired of his seemingly absurd demand for unity and modernization. As it goes. Change may be coming, while it is unlikely that any of the minor clans could truly pose a threat to him. Princess Arya of Volstrong and Thunder Lord Torben of Svartspell may be another matter. Arya's time in Equestria has changed her, and she now dreams of a new dawn for the bears. Torben has been a faithful ally to Paul, but even he may not be able to tolerate some of the changes to come. While the bears may be divided internally, they largely agree on enemies abroad. The changelings must be dealt with, and the Grifforian frontier, its rightful bear territory, and must be regained. A union with the penguins would also be desirable, as the two people share. I agree, 100%. We should unite with the penguins. Will the poor spirit of the land of the forest sea endure, or will it? Okay, so number one. How are we gonna do this? Well, clearly this is the conquest we wanna go for. This is our territory we want to. This territory we wanna separate. I'm surprised they went with Vikings, not Russians. I mean, they are bears. Who the fuck thinks of bears and Norway in the same sentence? No one. Everyone thinks Russia. So, okay, they went with the bears. I mean, I don't really know. Really confusing. Like, you would think it's Russians, but sure. Polar Bear Exile, Clan Divides. We're playing. Oh, Griffins for rifles. We have purchased breech loader rifles from Nova Griffonian and are still paying back. Oh, great. Clan Divides. Ooh. Okay, Polar Bear Exiles. Eccentric, criminals, outcasts, and cultists all are sent out from our lands to find a home elsewhere. Fortunately, this has slowed our research as some and population. And then Polar Bear Temper. Bears fight like creatures possessed, and many will rather die than surrender their honor. They are ready for. Okay. The Divisive Despot. Okay. Non-aligned. What paths do we have? We don't have a path. All we have is the yearly review. Okay. It's been 5 years. I'm not. Why do I get to trade with Skyfall? Who the fuck is Skyfall? Many clans make up. Okay, and with their own strength, weakness. Somewhere was the Age of Monsters. Well, okay. Enemy the clans or mock yourself. Effects like gets event the ruling faithful. Clans gets event the Roll of Thunder and the Penguins. Clan Volstron gets event the Southern Harmonists. The Triple Alliance, the Warlords, the Exiled Heretics, the Wanderers and Outcasts. Let me save the game first, because I don't want to fuck up my save file before it even started. That would be very ironic if I did that. So let's not do that. And now let's see. Okay, so let's open the Without Clan. Oh. Wait, so is this... Okay, doesn't matter. Ooh. Did I see that correctly? You do not tell me I only have 2 research slots. No. Oh no. Hey, Polar Tactic. Okay, so what do you have here? Magic Scribes. Production Fixing. Okay. Shamans. Okay. Enchanted Industry. Okay. Nomadic. Okay. Research. Okay. Okay. Boreal Tactics. Okay. I mean, this is wrong. I mean, okay. Obviously, they went with. I mean, again, the bears should. I mean, huh? I just feel like they should have went with Russia. I mean, the fact that they went with makes no fucking sense. That's all I'm gonna say. It just makes no fucking sense. I would never think of bears and Scandinavia, but sure. I guess someone does. I guess. Okay, so what do we do with this? Well, first of all, we have to. The army, please. A low power. Yes, I'm not surprised about that. Who is our general? You look You look evil, actually, but sure. Alright, so let's see. Does this disappear or not? Oh, it's just information. Okay, got it. The treasury requests financial support from other clans. Okay, take what we need. The outcast question. Okay. Perhaps Alfar doesn't find me worthy yet. Chill spreads throughout the air as Paul Wellington let out a heavy breath. He flipped over the other page of the manuscript, looking through the somewhat amateurishly written runes and numbers. He missed typed out text on easy-to-handle white or yellow paper he would read from during his exile in California. However, even if it would take time to properly read through the report, the impression from skimming through were not good. The progress was even slower than the previous year. Less reforms finished, not enough farms and manufactured fish, and of course, key lake plans were successful like always. Is everything to your liking, Elder? The whelp that had delivered the report questioned. Paul had almost forgotten the lesser bear was there, as he waited for any kind of response. Thank you for the concern, but everything is fine. You may go. You may retreat to your quarters. The whelp bowed his head and left the chamber, closing the whalebone door behind him. Wellington laid down the letter manuscript on the iron table and stood up from a chair of bone and chitin. He approached the window, cleared the gaze into the welcoming blizzard outside. What was the mistake he was committing? What was the failure? Why were there so many setbacks in his plan to turn the North into a proper state? When Grover of the Griffins united his kin, there was nothing like that. The empire he forged in but less than a decade stood united and prospered. Of course, Grover had earned the blessing of Boreas even before his great conquest. Paul scratched his chest. I guess, my man, I don't know. Do we have any territory we can claim as ours? No. So, what do we want? Oh, but wait, no, this is not even ours. Wait, so why do we have why do we say this is rightful frontier if we don't even have? Doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is that we try to do something. Okay, I'm not using. I mean, I have nothing to use actually. Do we even have 3? No, I have nothing to build. My economy is dead. Treasure situation. The empty cellars. This shouldn't have been a surprise after all. Modernizing an entire country was not something that would have been cheap or easy for any clan. So much steel and coal was required for modernizing production, so much gold was needed to buy different products which bears simply couldn't produce yet. A permanent process of modernization for almost half a decade should have been something to be proud of, considering it was all purely on the resources of a single clan. Yet Paul didn't feel pride. If anything, he was angry. Though not as his clan, after all, Clan Shifling had done the best he could with resources available. No, he was most angry at himself. He shouldn't have ignored how much loot there was left from the bear unification. Now had fish left to trade with the world. Iron was too important to give up after all. Of course, there was another possibility, something that the elders of the other clans would most definitely react to with cub-like glee and sadistic exploit, but which was necessary. Okay, so war? Oh, we're gonna ask for financial support. Okay, so this means we have to read the clans now. Let's read the clans. Okay, let's go with the Sifling. Any description of modern Urain society must begin with Paul Wellington, united and despot of polar bear communities. He transforms Shifling from merely the most religious clan to a modernizing force that dragged us into the 11th century. Before his return from California, Shifling's primary role was to worship the mighty Allfather, he who uplifted bears from beasts to thinking beings, and the great beast who gave us important aspects of our society. Great Raven taught us magic, Gallingburst, the great boar, taught us metalworking, and Fenrir taught us the hierarchy of the strong. Shifling was changed by the return of the mercenaries, and the new Shifling is still finding its place in history. Paul is a devout bear, but he is also a believer in the value of modernity. He brought home a great battleship with which to threaten the vile changelings, and his mercenaries were armed with the best Griffonian had to offer. With these weapons and troops, he made preparations to finally unite us under one leader. We, Svartpels, joined his war, and together all fell before our combined might. Now he makes us yet more changes to our nation in the name of modernity. He has imported rifles from Nova Griffonian to arm our soldiers, and tractors from Equestria to aid in the farming of tubers? While many believe him to be a visionary, others fear he is leading us down a truly dark path that will end our souls connected with the frost forever. Only time will tell. Okay. The Lords of Thunder and their penguins. It's difficult to write about yourself, and that's true of our clan as well. Nonetheless, we must try. We, Svartpels, are the greatest source of Panzerbornie, with our entire standing army consisting solely of them. We have among the mightiest warriors and are also the keepers of both bear tradition and knowledge. But the races of firewood grouped together in creature studies are one of our greatest talents. Some would call us conservatives, or even reactionary. It is true we can be too slow to accept change, we would reply that change is only rarely and unconditionally a good thing, and a certain apprehension is wise. We would always point to Thunder Lord Torben's great alliance with the Paul Wellington that brought the bears together under a despot for the first time in living memory. Of Clan Anchor there's little to say. They are sworn to fealty to us, and have been since the immemorial. Majority Penguin, they largely want to be left alone to wish the rich waters of the frozen sea. It would be wise to leave out a description of Torben, as it is a matter of public knowledge that our elders must undergo a ritual of being struck by lightning. It should be no surprise that he has truly earned his title. He is without doubt the mightiest bear warrior alive, able to take out any foe and win. He is also a great scholar in his own right, with a deep and profound understanding of the classics and of bear society. He has a great and true friendship with Paul, and has forced our more reactionary elements to accept the change our despot has enacted. His sage for the changelings is also unmatched, and he stands ready to lead any warbird against them. Hopefully his reign as Thunderlord will be long and secure, and no chance. Okay. Let's go with Volsung. Once Volsung were the greatest rivals of Svartpils. Okay. We and they clashed time and time again, battling for the title of the strongest Eurasian warriors. They led raid after raid into the Yak Mountains, seeking always to expand their holdings. During the Unification Wars, they were nearly destroyed. After Princess Aira returned, they rebuilt, but became very different. Her time in the far south had changed her, and she returned a devout harmonist, aspiring the values of Equestria. We were horrified how much of our old rival had fallen, but Paul Wellington stopped us from expunging this cancer. He decreed that just as our tradition was important to bearkind, so was an inclination towards progress needed to counterbalance it. In fact, they brought much knowledge of Equestria technology didn't hurt matters. The little Princess Aira is a skillful warrior and a strategist who once sought to subjugate Westlandia and wipe out Svartpils, but her time in Equestria and the Crystal Empire had left her with a desire to lead the clans towards a harmonious— Fuck that shit, so she is nothing. The Triple Alliance. Westlandia, unlike all other regions of our communities, has no great tradition of ancient clans. It has long been a minor clans that briefly flickered into existence, were subjugated or fractured on their own, and then faded away. Culture subjugated into the wider Westlandian way of life, but the current three minor clans, Falsin, Brockwood, and Bergsor, are known to periodically form a defensive pact they call the Triple Alliance. While none of these upstarts could challenge a great clan alone, together they may well be strong enough to outmatch even a great clan if they ever develop ambition for such a feat. Westlandia is also notable for its great amount of owlbears. Owlbears are, of course, large and strong griffins who have proven themselves in combat against the bear. Westlandia further has many griffins helps in— okay. Onlartir is home to three warlord clans, Rosenkarts, Kane, and Gothlund. Rosenkarts are okay. I'm gonna get— okay, sure, and then the own. Okay, so we're not going with the equestrian shit, because like I said, we're not gonna go democracy. So we have two paths: either continue with the paw shit, or do the base and start to wage war with everyone. Huh. We really are weak. Weak as fuck. But hey, it is what it is. Oh. The clans refuse to provide financial support. You can leave now, thank you for bringing the news. Paul Wellington tried to sound as polite as possible as the whelp left the room. He might have been called the despot or the tyrant, and if his old friends from Nova Grifena saw him now, they would definitely say the same, but he remembered the lessons he learned in Aquelia. To control large populace, one needs to use both terror and kindness. Only when the whalebone door closed and sealed the chamber shut did the paw of the claws impact. Behaviour as Paul Wellington allowed his frozen rage to seep up. He knew the others had received the request, he knew they heard what was asked and required, and he most certainly knew he had the resources to comply with the request. He had spies and informants among the ranks after all, yet almost everyone except the ever so dutiful Elder Torborn or Clan Svarspelt claimed that their clans had fallen on hard times or simply didn't respond. It's as if they took him for a fool. Had they forgotten what happened just half a decade ago? Did they want to go to the way of Rosemont and Torbjorn? No. Perhaps they simply didn't understand the importance of such a resource, especially when they were being asked and not forced. Maybe they felt this helps their rival clans, or perhaps they felt his hold was weakening now that they needed their support. My man, I don't know. All I know is that shit is getting real. All I know is shit is getting real. Oh wow, we are actually in early mobilization, and we are limited exports. What resources do we have even? I mean, how is this not Russia? I mean, I guess we have Russia right here, right? There's a Soviet, so we can't have two Russias, but come on. I mean, I get it, but come on. Like, come on. Okay, anyways, I have no idea what to do with this. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have no idea what to do with this. We're gonna start to... Oh no. We're gonna nationalize the thing that the penguins want. I feel like we're making enemies. Hey, whoa! King Lolo. King Lolo, that's Beneath the mountains. Okay, what is this? Ira, the princess of Clan was considering the scribes of clan settling that had presented themselves for her. Apparently, Paul Wellington had sent out the closest his clan to the scientists to teach other clans the advancements he had brought back from his travels in California. And learn whatever science and magic other clans had created. She couldn't help but notice a rather patronizing tone with the request, especially humorous as the despot referred to his own scientist equivalents, something rather outdated and medieval sounding. Didn't matter how Plankton had framed his request, or well, more ordered anything, she knew that if it was just another way to attempt to control and stifle other clans. Instead of actually trying to understand or care why every bear, except Saripels, didn't consider him a proper tyrant. Clan Wolfsong had to comply, of course, even if she was more questioned than polar in her character after her exile. Era still understood and respected the laws of her homeland, but she also understood intricacies of modern politics. She just hoped that the elders of other clans were smart or kind enough to see the easily exploitable mistakes in how Malcolm had worded his order. As the scribes were guided out of the hall to lead to the chambers within the great Volsung mountain fortress where they could rest, Erita turned to one of her former ex-albergas and murmured, "Keep them occupied with pointless knickknacks as long as we can." Okay, so clearly shit is getting real. Clearly the clans don't want to be united. That's clear as day. People do not wish to be united. And this is what, yeah, there you go, scientific failures. I guess whatever my dude is gonna try, he's gonna just fail. Clearly. And I really do feel like, you know, that's something I've been thinking about with Victoria 3. And I hope someone manages to make a mod or something like that. I really feel like Victoria 3 should have had, you know, the old westernization system that was in Victoria 2, but just make it so that you have two options. Either make it so that you can choose to westernize, which means rapid advancement of technology, studying foreign tech, all that shit, but the threat is instability, rebellion, reactionary forces and all that shit. Or try to go it your own way, which will take longer, but less resistance, more cooperation, but it will just take longer to do so, and will cost more, for example. I think that will be a better idea, because that way you can, I think it's a better kind of thing. Anyways, let the waters burn. Theodore knew he would be exiled into the wastes of Northern California, where he would perhaps fall prey to cannibalism or radicals over this. He was no bear, couldn't even compare in mass or combat prowess, and thus stood no chance in a duel. He was but a griffin after all, born of servants, and even when given a place at the table of the warriors for being an exception among his kind, he was still not on par. Neither in power nor perception by others and those above. However, this also meant that if an owl bear committed a betrayal of such proportions, it would not be blamed onto the clan. Rather, the accusation and retribution would fall purely on his warband, for most bears will still believe that even uplifted griffins couldn't truly persist and understand the nobility, brotherhood, and honor of the clan system. Okay, shit is getting real. Let's see where this is going. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. I don't know, I mean, so what do I think? I think I think the changelings. I think the polar bears are. It's gonna be interesting. Again, I don't know why they are. Why they are. You know. Why they are Vikings, not Russians. But sure, whatever. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, comment. I greatly appreciate the support. Good.